I have a lot of issues. All right, cool. We're recording now. So awesome. So welcome everybody. Hopefully you were able to get everything done you need to last week. Last week we had a quiz that we had to do, and then there was also another assignment about police, what you kind of think. So make sure you get that done on there. Okay, let's jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Today's lesson is going to be about crime, and should be pretty good. So let me put in the chat one more time for those that still need to jump on the Nearpod, so you can do that. All right, so we're going to talk a lot about crime today. I know a lot of people have, before the first couple people said they were talking about looking into like criminal psychology, the way criminals think. That was you. Yes, or Kira. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how crime is. There's like a philosophical component to it, what people think are crime and that kind of stuff. And so we're going to get into a lot of discussion today. And we're going to be bringing up some things that aren't so fun to talk about. I don't like to talk about them, honestly. There's violent crimes. There's, things like that. Let's just try to keep it as civil as we can. Yeah, some touchy subjects, right? But when we're talking about criminal justice, right, which this is what the class is. Somebody's playing music in the background. When we're talking about criminal justice, those things kind of come up, right? So I'm just kind of forewarning you as we talk about these things. Okay, so this session is going to be recorded, just so you know, just like always. And then also rules. I think this one a lot, kind of keep the chat appropriate. As I said, we're going to be touching on some subjects that are kind of touchy, could bring a lot of emotion, right, to some people. So please just kind of be sensitive, okay, to what's kind of going on there, okay? Because everybody has a different point of view, and we've all gone through different things here. Okay, so basically, we're going to talk a little bit about the Uniform Crime Reporting System. And police officers go off statistics to be able to figure out if crime is going up and down. It's always changing. Crime is. In certain areas, there are more crime than other areas. And that's for a load of kind of different reasons there, okay? So what the UCRS is the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting System, and it began in 1930. And people like base where they live off of whether there's a high crime rate or not, right? And there's a lot of economic kind of thing that goes to play there, right? So some of the more affluent areas have less crime, okay? The U.S. Attorney General authorizes the collection of crime statistics. And so some of these statistics and things like that are used to catch criminals, right? And so we'll actually see how technology today, we got a video on how technology can do that, okay? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to watch a video. I'm going to put it so it's on student play, so you can actually play it from your end, but I'm going to stop screen sharing at this point in time, and I'm going to bring it up here, so for those that need to watch it here. This is what crime is, so I'm hoping everybody can hear this and it works out well.
Hi there, this is Margit from criminologyweb.com, and in this video I'll take on the question, what is crime? When When talking about crime, many people think about famous cases, like the assault at Rodney King in the US, or the mafia in Italy, or perhaps the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi in India. But crime isn't restricted to the famous cases or even what we think of as serious cases. Crime includes violence, robberies, rape, and drug wars, but also stealing at work, corruption, corporate fraud, and tax violations. But what else is crime and what is it not? These seem like questions with obvious answers, but when you start looking into these questions, it turns out that it's not always so easy to say what is a crime and what is not a crime. What about, for example, when one hears the neighbor screaming or potentially beating his or her family? Or when companies pollute the air with their toxic substances? Of course, there is the law, which determines what is legal and what is illegal. But the thing is that the contents of the law vary depending on time and legal system. So let's look at a couple of examples of how the law varies by time. One example is domestic violence. It used to be tolerated, and in some places it still is, when a man or a woman beats his or her partner and kids. Nowadays, in many countries, that is considered to be problematic, to say the least. As another example, in 1784 in Prussia, which is the forerunner of modern-day Germany, only much larger, there was a law that mothers were not allowed to take their under 2-year-old children into their beds. That idea has changed quite a bit in many places. It also used to be a crime in different parts of the world to work on a Sunday, and maybe it still is in some areas. So these are some examples of how the law varies by time. The law also varies by legal system. An example of this is prostitution. In some countries, prostitution is illegal. In other countries, prostitution is legal. And in still other countries, it is a criminal offense to buy sexual services, meaning to be a client of a prostitute. So what does that say about prostitution? Is it a crime or is it not a crime? Another example is the consumption of cannabis. Also in this area, there are quite different rules and laws. In some countries, the possession of small quantities of cannabis is legal, and in other countries, it's not. But even for a crime like murder, one cannot say that this is always and everywhere regarded to be an offense and treated that way. In some places, you can murder certain people without being punished for it. An example of that is honor killings, which can be committed while the police are looking away in some places. Or war. In war, there are different rules and sometimes things are allowed that are not allowed otherwise. In many cases, when you talk about crime with other people, you can probably get by when you use the current legal definition of crime in the area where you live. But especially when talking about crime across time and place, one should be aware that the definition of crime is a product of society, culture, and of time, and so that it can change. For more fascinating criminology and criminal justice stuff, subscribe to this channel and turn on.
All right. So crime there, I'm going to share my screen again. Crime is basically what people make it out to be. What society thinks as a whole is what's wrong and what's right, okay? Okay. So this is what I want to do on the collaborative board on Nearpod here. It says crime is a subjective and is based upon where you live. What are some crimes that you may disagree with? Okay, because I think there's crimes out there that maybe we disagree with, right? And some of us would agree with them, right? Yep, and you can just put that on the board. You disagree with all of them? Okay, well, that's kind of like anarchy, right? I think we need some types of laws. Okay, prostitution be a choice. I'm sorry if it offends. Okay, and that's my the Gabriel cases. You may have to explain that a little bit. Yeah, maybe marijuana, right? Jaywalking. Yeah, jaywalking, right? Everybody does it, right? I think we've all maybe jaywalked at some point in time. Taboo laws. I want one right now. Okay, marijuana, cannabis, certain drugs. Okay, tattoo. I don't think tattoos are illegal, or maybe you're thinking maybe they are illegal in some place. I don't know. Oh, tattoo age. Okay, the age when you can get them. Okay. A lot of Dubai laws. Yeah, so you got laws in other countries where we think they're just very strict or stringent and they shouldn't have them. So somebody have to be 18 to get those. Let's see here. Abuse of drug shots, underage usage of drugs. Okay. So we all have our different types of kind of feelings on things, right? And then it becomes more of a philosophical issue of things like that. Outlawing certain dogs, okay? Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next thing over here. Okay. So the FBI, what they do is they have a certain amount of cases. They have 8 specific crimes that they claim as significant that they keep data on. Okay. And these are kind of the big ones that we all kind of see. And hopefully we all see these as not right. Okay. It's not these little laws like possibly marijuana or something like that, you know. These are significant ones where really they affect somebody else. It's either um, the taking of somebody's life or hurting someone or taking somebody's personal property. Okay. And so they are murder, okay, robbery, forcible rape, aggregated assault, burglary, I can't even say it, motor vehicle theft, arson theft, and or larceny or theft, and then arson. Okay. Um, so this is what your quiz is going to be on today when you go through that. So you may want to write down kind of the definition of each of these because that's what your quiz will be on. Okay. Okay. So criminal homicide, or basically murder, is the willful, negligent, okay, killing of one human being by another. Okay. So what is negligent, right? What does that mean? Um, they meant to do it, right? It was something that wasn't like you probably heard of premeditated murder where they've thought about doing it before, that kind of stuff. Um, so you have that on there. Okay. This was another one that's very sensitive topic. Okay. Forcible rape. Okay. The knowledge of, forcibly doing that against your will. Okay. So that is another one that the FBI tracks. The other one is robbery. Okay. So robbery is taking or attempting to take anything of value from the care of or custody or control of a person by forcing or threatening violence and putting fear into them. Okay. So that would be robbery. Okay. Another one is aggravated assault. It's an unlawful attack by one person upon another for the purpose of inflicting severe or aggravated bodily injury. The next one is burglary. Okay. This is the unlawful entry of a structure to commit a felony or theft. Yep, poor little cat there, right? So this one, it doesn't have the threat of violence and stuff. The other one, robbery, right, could be the same thing. So okay. So somebody had a question about larceny and theft, okay? It's the unlawful taking, carrying, leading, or riding away of property from the possession or constructive possession of another, okay? So this could happen in, oh, sorry, I went too far. Okay, so this could be a lot of different things, right? Of theft, of how theft can happen, right? But it all breaks down under this kind of thing. Or kind of swindling, right? Sorry, I'm not catching all the chats. You guys have a lot of chats going on there, but hopefully it's good stuff. Okay, another one's motor vehicle theft. Okay, the theft or attempt to theft of a motor vehicle. Okay, the other one is arson. Okay, this is the willful or malicious burning or attempt to burn with or without intent to defraud of dwelling, house, public building, motor vehicle or aircraft, personal property of another, etc. Okay. So those are all of the different things the FBI tracks. Okay. Okay, we're going to watch now another little video, and I put on student play for those who want to watch it at home, and I'll stop sharing and put it up here. But how police are using statistics and technology to be able to catch criminals and try to lessen crime in certain areas. So here we go.
Technology help police solve crimes in movies and on TV all the time, but that same technology is being used right here, right now, to catch criminals.
And tonight, police are showing off the tools they used to catch a man accused of attempted murder. News Channel 5's Jason Hackett is live in Riviera Beach with our story. Jason?
Well, Michael and Shannon, Jermaine Nellums was arrested on Wednesday and charged with many crimes. His capture was one part just good old-fashioned police work, but the other part of it is what you see behind me, the present and the future of policing. When it comes to crime, police will always be the first line of defense, but it never hurts to have some backup.
I'm a resource to the officers and to investigation as a whole.
The resources Officer Osel Harrison provides are why Jermaine Nellums is sitting behind bars tonight, facing several serious charges. Riviera Beach police believe Nellums shot a man near Silver Beach Road and Avenue R on December 4th. The path to catching him began here at headquarters in an area dubbed Sky 1, starting with the shot spotter system.
It triangulates the audio, the sound of a gunshot.
What you're hearing are the 12 rounds Nellums allegedly fired at his victim that night. The victim was able to give police a description of the vehicle he was in, and the city's real-time surveillance system came into play. It spotted a truck matching the description in the air minutes before the shooting.
We were able to piece together the varying points from entry to exit as far as how the truck traveled throughout our city.
The department's license plate reader system furthered the investigation. The reader was able to scan the plate on the truck Nellums was driving, leading them to the rental company he got it from, leading them to the alleged shooter. It sounds like the future, but for this department, it's the present.
I kind of liken it to when DNA was discovered. You can't get away from it. You cannot get away from our technology.
The department's message to criminals: enter Riviera Beach at your own risk.
We are letting you know we are going to aggressively pursue criminal behavior.
You will be apprehended, and we have the resources that can tie in to make that arrest possible.
Now, Riviera Beach was actually awarded for having one of the most technologically advanced police departments here in the state of Florida. And as impressive as this entire thing behind me is, they want to expand it even further and have more of this technology here in the city in the next 5 years. Live here in Riviera Beach, Jason Hackett, WPTV News Channel 5.
All right. Okay, so as I said kind of before, right, we're going to have some subjects that are sensitive and that kind of stuff as we're talking about crime and how crime should be dealt with in this class. So let's just try to stay on topic, okay? But if I do have to stop the chat, I may have to do that, okay, if we kind of keep
By
that.
technology help police solve crimes.
All right. So as you can see how statistics and technology and everything, okay. I'm going to stop the chat real quick. Hold on. Okay, chat's disabled, guys. Sorry. I will turn the chat back on when we can all just chill for a bit. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. All right, so here's a question here. Besides technology, what other ways do police use to catch criminals? Okay. Okay, cars, okay. Violence, yeah. I mean, they have to use sometimes they have to use force. That's correct. Eyewitnesses, yep, witnesses. Undercover, that's a good one. That's I wouldn't want to go undercover myself. Yeah, shooting, hopefully it doesn't come to that point, okay. Car and canine, okay. The trial, so the consequences of the action. Profilers, DNA proof, good. Profiling, witnesses, local business cameras. Yeah, that's something some countries, and who knows, we may get to that point in time. Yeah, so we may get to that point in time where every place around has cameras, okay? Like in the United Kingdom, they have like the CCTV, which is basically basically camera network where they track everything, right? If they want to find out a crime or find somebody, they go to the CCTV camera, and you're always on camera wherever you go, right? There's usually always a camera around, at least in more populated areas, okay? So dogs, undercover double agents, they're horsies, I guess so, right? Not sure what the drinks those are, whatever. Canines, cars, disarming at the leg, okay? Patterns in criminal behavior. Yep, so if you think of different patterns and stuff like that, footprints and DNA, going undercover, camera footage. Don't know what that image was. Poison? Maybe you'll have to describe that one. I don't know what public property damage would be. Sunglasses. All right, I think we're just being a little silly now. So, okay, so that really kind of describes a little bit of what they do to catch criminals, okay? So one of the biggest things that we've talked about is data collection, okay? All urban and most rural law enforcement agencies report crime statistics to the FBI. The numbers are usually submitted to the state agencies such as the Utah's Bureau of Criminal Identification, and they're able to get those reports and kind of see there. The U.S. crime rate in comparison of the total committed to the population divided by 100,000, while Utah uses a comparison of 1,000 people, okay? Probably because Utah has a little bit smaller population than a lot of these bigger states that we're seeing. But Utah's getting there population-wise. Okay, so when somebody's arrested, they're going to take these different demographics, okay? So when somebody's arrested, they'll take what their age is, okay? Their gender, their race, as well as if they are an adult or juvenile, okay? So that's some of the big things that they use. So when anybody's ever arrested, they'll take those demographics, so we kind of know where they kind of fit into, okay? So basically, here's clearance rates. So basically, for murder, they get off like 63.6% of the time. Forcible rape, 40.4%. Aggravated assault, 54.9%. Robbery, 26.8%. Burglary, I can't even say it, 12.5%. Auto theft, 12%, and theft at 19.9%. Okay, so you can go and you can actually look and find these statistics online yourself. And so that's something that's interesting if you're ever going to need to do research or something like that. If you decide to take like criminal justice classes in like college and stuff, this is something that you'll definitely be doing, right? Is looking at the statistics and seeing maybe what type of the population is most effective in those kind of things. Okay. All right. So not all crimes are reported. So why do you think this is? Okay. They may want to hide some. Yeah, they don't want to get in trouble. A lot of the victims may feel like they've done something wrong too, right? And so they don't want to get in trouble for their own thing. No one witnessed them. Yeah, but if something's happening, right, to a certain person, it usually there's one witness, right? But they still don't come there. Okay. Yeah. So I think put on here, race is one of them. Some people do not have a good relationship with law enforcement, and they're worried if they do report that something bad will happen to them, which it goes into fear. Yep. Somebody says I'm no snitch, right? So there's kind of what do you call it? It's kind of a perception if somebody goes and claims something that they're a snitch and it's not good, right? Victims may feel ashamed or fear judgment. Yep. Because there are many to deal with already. Yep. They're like, oh, they won't worry about my little thing that's going on. Threats. Yep. Threat from those other people. Okay. People may be too scared to share the information. Some feel guilty to report. Yeah, definitely. Because people talk it out, they maybe want to fix the issue themselves. Yep. They're threatened. Maybe they feel dangered. They don't want to share. It's very private. Blackmail. Being victimized, bribed, okay, to not come forward. That happens. Might someone stole drugs? Okay. Yep, if their drugs are stolen, they're doing illegal activity at the time. Okay, fear. Don't want to be a snitch. Okay, there's a lot of the same things there. Very good, guys. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So this is an interesting statistic. Less than 50% of crimes are actually reported. Okay. So why is that? You already named a few. Fear of retaliation, feeling police unable to solve the crime. Okay. Crime may have involved relatives, okay, neighbors or close friends, and you don't want to snitch on them, right? Definitely. So you have that reason. Why do crimes go up and down? Okay. There's change in reporting procedures, population growth. Okay. So of course it's going to go up if there's more people. Statistically, it would. Changes in law, political changes, all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm going to skip some of these ones real quick. You can always go back and kind of look at these later. Okay, so here's the 2 questions that we have, and then we'll probably end in a little bit because we've been going for a while. If you could create 2 new laws, what would they be? I'm kind of interested. And if you can only think of one, that's fine. But if you could create a new law, what would it be? Okay, I don't know what that is. All right. Get social workers more involved in policing. Also legalize marijuana. Okay. Legalize marijuana. Pretty safe. Free ice cream, puppies. Okay, who's going to pay for that kind of stuff? Who's going to pay for the free ice cream? I just want to get rid of death row. Okay. To help those in need. You don't need to pay extra fees for dogs. No drugs ever in any country. Okay. Teachers get paid more and legalize all types of guns. Okay. Stronger gun laws. So we see some contradictions here of others. Get rid of abortion. Okay. No taxes. Yep. There's a lot here. Life sentences more. Oh, these keep moving on me. Hold on. Life sentences for more murders that are dangerous. Okay. Stricter gun laws. No abortion. More training for officers. I like that one. I think that's a really good, because we underfund our police, right? And they just don't have the training a lot of times. Okay. And their pay is not a lot. Okay. All right. Let's watch on all the pictures and stuff putting up here. Okay, guys, if we want to do this. All right, so there's a lot of good stuff on here. Okay, good stuff. Okay, here's another question for you real quick. If you could eliminate 2 laws, what would they be? Okay, so prostitution, weed, state or federal. Either, it doesn't matter. State or federal, just whatever you think. Jail time for drug use. Maybe work on more like recovery, right, of it. Okay, marijuana seems to be a big one. Speed limits, okay. Speed limits, it's a give and take, right? A little bit. They're good because some people are crazy on the roads, knowing I'm been a driver's ed instructor for a long time. Jaywalking and marijuana. Drinking age to be turned to 18. Okay. All right. Okay. I think you guys have some good ideas, right? And as long as we all can agree, things are going to always be a little heated sometimes, okay? All right. I think that's where I was basically going to end for today. All this other stuff is just kind of looking at other statistics, which I will put in the lesson, okay? So there's 2 things that you need to do today. Hopefully this is still on. One is you need to do the Unit 2 quiz, okay? So you click it. I think it's about 6 or 7 questions. It goes over those different things. There's 6, okay? Pretty good. The next one is you watch this video of the Hollywood shootout. And what you need to do is you need to after you watch it, you just need to do like a 3-minute kind of presentation about what you kind of learned, right? What went wrong, what you doing that, okay? You can make a little video and send it to me if you don't want to do Flipgrid, okay? So, or email me and then we can kind of look at it. Yep, the quiz is what you covered today on those FBI things that they report, okay? So what you do is you just kind of click on here. You do need to put in your UTVA email. That's what you have to sign in with, or it won't work. And then that will sign you in. And then you just kind of accept here. And then you just record a response. Okay? All righty. Okay, so that is all I have for you guys. Where do you access it at?
Yeah.
You go to your course page, okay? You go to content. And then once you go to content, you're going to have all these things up. You go to unit 2.
Okay.
And then you do, this is where you see the video right here. The video's in this link. So you need to watch the video. And then after you watch the video, you go to the assignment portion. There's a little link right here, the Flipgrid.
Oh,
and
okay.
just go and do, okay?
Yep, thank you.
All right, okay, guys, I'm going to stop the recording. Yep, do Monday. Do Monday, and I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll stay after and answer any questions. So.